Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Into the Pod. I am your host, Sam, and with me today I have the delectable Ryan Chittenden. How are you, mate?
Very well, as always.
Good. Last week we sat in Udi's and recorded.
Yep.
Today you are in the most delightful, is it fox and penguin
With
pyjamas?
my Christmas pyjamas.
Yeah, man, matching with the wife, I hear.
Yes. Claire got them for me. And they're just really comfy.
Yeah, they look comfy, I'll be honest. I'm wearing jeans that are digging into my big fat belly, so...
It's just not what you need.
It's
I
not
had
what I need.
jeans on, but I had to get changed into these lovely... I think they're more like loungewear than pyjamas.
Loungewear.
Yeah, you know.
Loungewear. So we've got a different setup today.
It's weird. I feel like it's throwing me off, you know.
Yeah, so we always record at my house because we've got the big beastie PC, but we're going out for German food and beer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
In
Can't
your
wait.
hometown, so I've brought the portable kit with me, and we're recording it at your house.
Yeah, I know. It's just bizarre.
It is bizarre because your house is just an absolute fortress of nerdy stuff, and I love it. You said to me, right, just go drop your bag upstairs. So I did, and there's just a room of hundreds of pounds worth of lightsabers,
Yeah.
and you expect them to be there when I leave.
My Force FX lightsabers.
Yeah,
Six of them? I think 5.
5.
I've got 5 of them, yeah.
and Gimli's axe.
Gimli's axe from Lord of the Rings, yeah. Like a proper replica as well.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Claire
I love
got
it.
me from the Royal Armouries.
Wow,
Yeah, down in London.
it is ridiculously cool in this house.
Well, depends on your viewpoint. To us, we'd say cool. To
think-
most other people.
If you're listening to this
So
for the
nerdy.
content, then
Yeah.
you probably would appreciate
Yeah,
this house.
yeah, that's fair.
We've also got a massive Wall-E doll sat next to us. Teddy just sponsoring the podcast in a way
Yeah,
today.
it's kind of creepy just looking at us. Like
Yeah.
this 2-foot Wally.
He looks sad.
He does, but he always looks sad, doesn't he, Wally?
No, he does a bit.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's
poor
why I
little
didn't watch Wally for so long, because every time I put it on, he's just sad.
Oh, dear. So, as a little intro, I wrote some ideas what we could talk about because the World Cup's on. You're a big football fan.
I am, yeah.
Have you been watching? You've been paying attention?
I haven't actually.
Have
I've
you
been
not?
paying attention. I've been following the scores, but I've not really watched a lot at all.
No, I'm not a football fan at all. But
Soccer, as you call it.
Soccer.
Soccer ball.
But I have been. I've been watching the England matches. Possibly some of the most boring football I ever watched
yeah,
against
it was
USA.
such a shame when it was the USA game on Friday night, 7
know.
o'clock. It's like prime football watching time. I went to the pub to watch it, and you know, when I last went to the pub to watch the England games, it was the Euros, and obviously we did so well. It was a big piss up with all my mates, and it was just a quality atmosphere. We all had such a good time, and then hoping for a repeat on Friday, and it was just dull.
I know.
It was just so dull.
It was bad because I only ever follow football during World Cup or Euros. Just everyone's going to be talking about it, so why not? And I'll be honest, I struggled.
Yeah.
I really struggled with that game.
Yeah.
And there was 3 of us that don't watch football watching it as well. So
Which doesn't help, does it?
No, exactly. So because I'm not a football fan, I have decided to download the new Madden game
Right, yeah.
whilst everyone's getting into football because I'm a big American football fan.
You are, yeah.
Slowly getting towards the end of the season, got a few months left of it, so I thought I'd get on that because I want to do an NFL episode because you know jack shit about the
I know
sport.
absolutely nothing.
So I'd love it for us to play a few games of Madden, then we watch an American football film, and you just not have a
I
clue.
won't have a clue.
It's going to be such shit content, but I just want to. I want to do it so bad.
Just an hour of me just going, I don't understand. Like,
Exactly.
what is this?
Exactly.
What does that mean?
I've come up with a little quiz and everything for you.
Wow,
So it's
yeah,
gonna be
I know you've been looking forward to that one.
Oh, big time. But other than that, it's been, well, since last week, we've not really done a great amount, have we?
No, we haven't. I don't think we've seen each other, have we, since we last recorded?
No, we haven't.
We had a good run of a couple of weeks where we saw each other a lot. But it's
We've been saving it for tonight for this big piss up.
yeah. We've had this in the diary for a while.
We have.
And then potentially a cinema trip next week.
Yes,
as well.
I think we're looking at, are we going to see the menu?
The menu is on the
Menu.
menu.
So
Sorry, I didn't know what to say.
I had no idea what it was. All I knew was I'd heard of the menu when I'd seen the picture of Anna Taylor-Joy, so I assumed it was some boring film about a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, why is our little horror nerdy club going to watch this? So when I
Yeah.
Googled it, it said horror comedy. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. We can do this.
I'm really not sure what to expect from that film.
I know nothing about it. This is what I'm loving about the sickos.
Yeah.
Is all the films that we've sort of suggested going to see, I've known zero about.
Yeah.
And actually, I've not really ever done that. So it's so nice to go in and see a film. Like after Barbarian, it's a bit of a shit, really, because my hopes are always going to be that high.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll ever beat that.
No,
with a horror film.
Like, we didn't know what to expect with that at all.
And it was banging.
And it lived up to...
It delivered.
I had no expectations, actually. So, yeah, but it delivered, like you said.
It delivered unlike the nachos.
Unlike the nachos, which, was the only issue, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And I couldn't work my reclining chair until we left the cinema.
And then you got stuck in it because you couldn't get it back down.
What a disaster.
I nearly fell asleep in that. First ever cinema I've been into with a reclining chair.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, it was delightful.
I was shocked because I know lots of people say, oh, it's amazing, you got to go for like reclining chairs, try this, try that. And I was like, well, you just sat watching a film, you know. The chairs are never uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially when you've eaten quite a lot like we did that night, because you can just slob out.
Well, yeah, it makes such a difference. I mean, I only got mine up like 6 inches off the floor, but it was comfy.
Yeah, literally just 6 inches. That's all you need, I hear. Please.
Yeah, please.
Right, so I think we should get straight into the episode, and we should look at Snack of the Week, which again and always will be sponsored by the beautiful Drew Flanagan music.
Yep.
So cue the music. And there it is.
Fantastic.
It
just doesn't
hits
get old, that, does
it? It hits every time, doesn't it?
Just have that on repeat constantly.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
We listened back to that so much on the last episode because it's the first time in the episode, and we actually put that in afterwards. We didn't play it during the episode, and it just worked out so well that after it played, I went, brilliant.
A genuine reaction.
Yeah, so again, I've been speaking a bit to Drew. He's over the moon. He's a big fan of the podcast, bless him. He's all over it at the minute, constantly messaging with his top fives and ideas for episodes, and I love it. And
which is great.
Yeah, and I've said to him we'd do an episode for him because he's a million miles away. He's in the army. He's he can get a bit lonely out there sometimes. So I said we'd dedicate a show to him. And the same goes to you guys. If you've got any ideas for recommendations or anything you would like to hear from us, then please get in contact, because it's all about, we love giving you guys recommendations, but we'd like some ourselves. We'd like to go out of comfort zone a little bit. So please get in contact. Let us know what you'd like. We have actually had quite a few up to now, people telling us what they want to hear. Yeah,
definitely. And, it's nice for us to get different suggestions, because we just do the same things all the time, don't we?
We do.
You go for things that you're comfortable with and that you like, and so it's nice to branch out of our comfort zones, try new things, even if we think they're shit. That's part and parcel of it.
100%.
That's exactly what's going to be happening with us. We're throwing out some recommendations. People are like, yeah, that was crap, didn't like that. And we find it ourselves, when we did that episode, episode 3, where we gave each other recommendations, film ones. We've got some great ones in there, some bit more hit and miss, but that's the beauty of doing this podcast, I guess.
Absolutely. So ping them into us. And as always, please share, like. I'm not going to go through it all, but you know what to do. Try get us to your friends and your family. So, Snack of the Week. I had already picked something up for Snack of the Week. I had it in the cupboard ready to go. And then there was a little surprise. Tell us about the surprise, Ryan.
Surprise. It was a surprise to me. So I was round my sister's watching the football the other day, and I asked her for some chocolate because she nipped to the shop. And she came back with our snack of the week for this week.
So did she just walk in the room and went, I've got your snack of the week?
Pretty much, yeah.
That is banging.
Yeah, I know. And that's so great. I love that idea that snack of the week is now like, it's like an institution. People just throw snacks at us now.
I think it's fantastic until I said to Drew that he wanted to come on. I was like, cool, well, you're responsible for bringing snack of the week then. And he was talking about bringing, that fish thing that everyone's doing at the minute. It's like the smelliest fish.
Oh,
it's a big TikTok thing.
I have seen it. Yeah.
I was like, dude, you're not invited on if you're going to play games like that.
No, yeah. We don't care if you're in the army, if you sponsor the podcast.
Well, he said to me, he goes, I'm going to try and find some pop culture related snacks to bring down. And then he sent me an eBay listing for some Action Man soda.
Incredible.
Well, this thing was clearly 15 years out of date.
Oh, no.
And I was
not
like,
so incredible.
that is wicked, but it's 25 quid and well out of date. We can't drink that. But don't get me wrong, bring it and we'll put it somewhere nice.
Spend the next 3 weeks in hospital.
Yeah, exactly. So your sister's Jess?
Yeah. Jessica. Yeah.
Jess, thank you very much for the snack of the week. You You have now made it to part of the Into the Pod Hall of Fame for this.
I know, yeah. So what have we got?
Here come Sam and Ryan, listen to them both speak. They've come 2 hours on with their pop culture critique. But are you even a nerd if you don't overread? So come on everybody, it's the snack of the week.
We have got, now I've never seen one of these before, it is a Mars Raspberry Smash flavour.
Raspberry Smash flavour. I don't even know what is Raspberry Smash.
I have not got a clue, but I'm assuming, let's have a look. Yeah, it's got its own sticker on the back. So someone's gone over the ingredients with their own ingredients. So
Okay.
Well, let's fucking give it a go.
Try it, yeah, why not? Raspberry Smash, what's the worst that could happen?
I'm all about raspberry chocolate, though.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
I can take or leave it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. So, chin chin,
yeah,
my
cheers.
friend.
A little clink
Enjoy
of the Mars bars, yeah.
We again didn't take a picture of these before.
Oh, shit. We never do that.
Yes, can you buy us more raspberry smash Marses?
Well, wait to see how it tastes first. We'll just get a picture in the shop.
Like the green cola, you mean?
That was delicious. Buy more of that.
No. Oh, mate, that is fucking ace. Oh, my God.
That's so sweet.
That is so good.
Oh, I don't know if I'm a fan.
Oh, you know, sweet's my thing.
Mm.
Oh, mate.
It's too raspberry.
I don't know why I wasn't expecting caramel in it. Even though it's a Mars bar.
It's just a Mars bar, but the nougat
It's raspberry.
is raspberry.
That is ridiculously good.
I feel a bit sick. I've had one bite.
I'm not going to finish this whole bar on air because what we've learned is we spend too much time eating when we should be getting on with the episode. So I'll finish that afterwards.
The cereal episode was a little bit long.
The cereal episode, which has been described as really funny, but it could have been shorter.
That's how we felt.
We didn't. I could have done that forever, mate.
No,
it was
so
fucking
funny.
brilliant. I had so much fun recording it that there's actual nerves when it came out. I wanted people to find it as funny as we did.
I suppose the worrying thing with anything like that is, when you're in a situation, you find yourself hilarious or you find each other hilarious, and then other people are looking in thinking, what are you guys on about? That is not funny at all. Grow up.
Again, the beauty of the podcast. Fuck them.
Yeah. No one's listening anyway.
Literally, no one's listening anyway. So for me, Mars Raspberry Smash is 2 thumbs up. I am a big fan of that.
Well, I don't know.
And I'm looking forward to smashing mine and smashing yours.
Yeah, you can have mine as well. It's nice. It's just too sweet for me.
Yeah.
Right? I like chocolate, but
You're sweet enough, aren't you, babe?
yeah, I like my plain chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, like
You're so boring, man. You're so
I am
fucking boring.
I know. I like dry, plain food. No sauce. no colour.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, that's Ryan through and through, isn't it?
Sums me up.
So, Jess, again, thank you very much. Absolutely loved that.
Thank you.
I will say now, we are having a few beers whilst doing this, and I'm not going to stop the recording just to make Ryan pass me beer. So there'll be a lot of opening tins of beer whilst we're doing this.
Yeah, so it's actually the first time we've had a drink whilst doing this.
I know, because normally you drive to mine and you've got to get home, haven't you? And I always feel bad sitting there drinking when you can't.
Yeah.
So I could quite easily sit there and have a few beers, but I didn't want to.
You always used to say that you would always drink on your previous podcasts and stuff.
They always come to mine. One of the guys literally lived 10 doors up.
Yeah.
And the other guy never drank.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah.
Aaron would always have a few beers with me if he could. I mean, he'd have 1 or 2 and I'd sit there and smash 8.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And then James never bothered. So, right. So, we normally would bang a top 5 in roundabout now, but we've had a bit of a chat and we don't want to just keep doing the same thing week in, week out. We don't want it to become too monotonous. Is that the word? Monotonous?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Check you out with a big
Fucking
word.
hello.
Where did that come from? That was so
know.
natural as well. Just slipped off the tongue.
It's because I'm in the same house as your English teacher wife.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I feel like if I don't try big words, I might get told off.
to read a thesaurus before you arrive.
So you came up with an idea for a new part of the episode. So why don't you sort of explain to everyone what it is?
Yeah, okay. Well, it's pretty much like we were saying earlier. You know, we get a lot of people ask for recommendations, even previous to the podcast. I'm, massive into my films and TV and stuff, and music as well, and all those sort of things. So I would often get asked, like, any good film recommendations or anything like that. And we've already obviously incorporated that into this podcast because that's what we're all about. But as our listeners have probably noticed, we tend to ramble for a long time. 40 minutes on Serial as a prime example. So I thought it'd be nice if we've got like a recommendation, rather than doing like a deep dive into it where we spend an entire episode going into like the ins and outs of it and why we love it. If we've just watched something, or if we've got a TV show like on the go, or something that we thought, no, that was all right, but I don't necessarily want to spend half an hour talking about it. We could just do a quick like, I've just watched this. This is what it's about. Give it a watch. And just a brief overview. And I thought that we could keep it quick rather than rambling on for ages. So I said, why don't we just time it? 60 seconds.
60-second recommendation.
60-second recommendations. Keep us on track.
So are we going to do this? So I've just got my stopwatch out. Are we going to do it where we cut the other person off after 60 seconds?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we try to keep it short, sweet.
Blast to the point. What it is, why I should watch it or whatever, or why I shouldn't watch it. Just whatever you want within 60 seconds.
Listening back to the episodes, because obviously I have to edit them, I noticed that I say the word after every word. So it's going to be quite hard for me to do this because I'm like, well,
when I've listened back to the episodes, I've noticed I say the word brutal a lot.
Yes.
That's all I say. And now that I've clocked it, so when I listen back to the episodes, I just cringe at myself every single time.
2 episodes ago, whilst I was editing, I realised I said the word 100% 6 times in like 3 minutes. So I was going to do, because I've got loads and loads of stuff to give away as competition prizes that I bought before we even started the podcast. I was going to do a competition of whoever can count the amount of times I say 100% first gets a prize, because it was a fucking ridiculous amount. I don't know why I say 100% all the time.
I don't know, I say brutal all the time. It's like, now we're in the thesaurus house, we're going
to have to say more. This is why we need Claire sitting next to us next time, so she can just...
you're like, what is it, like 8 out of 10 cats does countdown, or just a regular countdown. You have like dictionary corner, is it?
Yeah, with Susan Thingy Majog.
Yeah, Thingy Majog, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Claire could be that for us.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right, next episode, we're getting her in. She's got nothing better to do, surely. Right, okay, so normally we will probably just bring it up as an idea and just be like, I've actually got one for this week, but just seeing as it's week 1 of bringing it in, we're both going to do one, aren't we? Because there's something you want to talk about, and I just watched a film that I don't think will ever make it into the podcast that I do want to talk about.
And I suppose that's what's perfect for this. It's something that maybe we're not necessarily going to bring it up again, or... I was thinking as well, like TV shows, it's quite hard to incorporate like 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons into one episode. Whereas if we're watching it ongoing, it could be like, I'm currently on season 3 of this, and this just happened. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
Etc.
Yeah, so it could be updates as well. Then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's just a 60-second ramble.
Love it. So I'd like you to go first because this is your little bit.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Shall I?
I think you should tell us before we start what you're going to be recommending.
What I'm going to be recommending, and then I've got 60 seconds to actually talk about the thing itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is actually very different this week. Something that we've not spoke about once on the podcast, and I'm actually going to talk about music.
Yeah, so I did ask you what yours was going to be beforehand, just because I was interested.
Yeah.
And when you told me, I immediately listened to it. And I've heard of them before, but I listened to your recommendation, and fuck me, that was just the anthem for the rest of the day at work.
Yeah.
I just had it blaring in the background whilst I'm doing bullshit on the laptop.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Amazing. I'm glad you listened to it.
So tell us who it is, and then when we're ready, I'll start the timer.
Yeah, okay. So I'll tell you the reason why this has inspired me as well, because I don't know if you've got Spotify, but at the end of the year, they always do like your year wrapped, and it gives you like stats on like, who your top artists are, what song you've listened to the most, and it creates like a playlist for you.
Every December, everyone shares it, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm Amazon Music, so I can see what my top played is.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me, which I'll tell you after this what my top played is.
Right, okay. So because of that, this artist came in as my top artist by a long way, something ridiculous, like 1,600 and something minutes I'd listened to him this year. With one album, basically.
Amazing.
So that's what I'm going to recommend.
Okay, so are you ready to go?
Yeah, I've not practiced this at all.
No, me neither.
So I've literally no idea how this is going to go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, recommend.
Okay, so the artist I'm recommending is a band called Greta Van Fleet, who are an American rock band. They're a modern rock band, quite young guys. There's 4 of them, but they're very much a throwback to old school, like 70s rock.
Classic rock, yeah.
Yeah, I know that their first album came under quite a lot of stick because they sound like they were ripping off Led Zeppelin. But they've got this new album out, came out this year, I think, or back end last year. It's called The Battle at Garden's Gate, which is the album I've absolutely smashed this year. It's a mixture of like classic rock, belting vocals, lots of guitar solos, some absolute anthems, 7, 8, 9-minute songs. And I can just listen to it on repeat, which I have 1,600 minutes this year. They're a fantastic band. Not a lot of people know about them, especially over here. So Greta Van Fleet, the Battle at Garden's Gate album, get it listened, and I'm stopping there with 5 seconds to go.
That is banging. And it is such a good album as well. Because I'd heard of Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
I went, oh, shit, because my dad's massive into classic rock and old grunge and stuff. So I was like, okay, I might have actually heard this, and I've not heard the album.
Yeah.
And oh my God, yeah, it really put me in a mood for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
it's such a great mood.
It's just a great album to sort of, like, for any occasion, like, if you're just sat working, or if you're driving somewhere, cleaning the house, or if you actually want to listen to it in detail, you pick up on all these different like little nuances and little like things that you can unpick it and pick up things that you never not noticed before. Like, oh, I love this little bit of guitar on this bit, or the drums here sound cool. So definitely recommend it.
So that 60-second recommendation just went to 2 minutes because we spoke about afterwards. But still it works. Fuck
it still works. That's just like the reflection time.
Yeah, it's reflection time. We'll have that,
Yeah. That doesn't count to the full timer.
No,
but,
it doesn't.
That was quite hard, actually.
Yeah,
I feel nervous. I'm sweating a little bit.
I've not done this yet, and unfortunately, mine's very niche, so it's going to be quite hard.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me get a timer up for you then, and then we'll do that again.
Okay, and so just the reason why I pick what I'm picking is I'm just a massive fan of this director, actor, whatever. He does everything. Podcaster. I'm a big fan of his universe. So anything he brings out, I will watch immediately.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I know who this is going to be.
You're going to know it's going to be. I've mentioned it on the podcast a million times.
Yeah.
So his new film come out, and I just wanted to have a little minute on it.
Sweet. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
So the recommendation is Clerks 3, and I'll start by saying if you are not a Kevin Smith fan, this will mean absolutely nothing to you. So Kevin Smith has built a universe with his films, with the View-esque universe, he calls it. Clerks 1, 2, 3, Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot film. This whole universe, all the characters are all intertwined. It's all of his friends are in the film, and all of the films basically just follow his life. If you suck Kevin Dick's dick as much as Kevin Smith sucks his own dick, you're going to love this film, because this film is the story of his heart attack that he had a few years ago, followed by the story of him writing Clerks. Because one of the characters then goes on, decides, I've had a heart attack, I want to record a film.
Right.
That is the premise of the film. It's got everyone that you love from the View-esque universe in it. It's typical Kevin Smith. It's not a good film. It's not a great film. It's just a Kevin Smith film. And I really enjoyed it. I got to see some of my favourite people.
That was
bang on 1 minute.
Bang on.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
We
did it. I managed to stop it exactly on a minute.
That's more impressive than the film, I will just say.
That's unreal. I can't believe I've just done that. I'm going to leave it up just so I can look at it.
So what happened there was Ryan's pop shield dropped from his microphone and carried on talking into the pop shield, not the microphone.
I noticed that. It was just my reflexes.
So the 260-second recommendations for this week is
Greta Van Fleet, The Battle at Garden's Gate,
and Clerks 3, which is on Amazon Prime for £10. Don't get it naughtily, pay for it, because he's got enough money, but fuck it, no one else does.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else he
hard
hires
times we're in
could enjoy it.
How did you find that?
You know what? I think they're going to get harder. That one's quite easy, because basically all you have to say is if you love Kevin Smith, you'll love this.
Yeah.
But it's just one of them, isn't it? Like, there'll be so much more to say about something else. Could you imagine doing Barbarian in 60 seconds?
Oh, God. You won't be able to do it. You won't even be able to get through the trailer. But that's the sort of thing where we go, right, this film has got too much to it. Let's do a proper deep dive into it. And we'll spend like an episode talking about it.
So we hope you enjoyed 60-second recommendation. Again, if there's anything you want us to do a 60-second recommendation on, whether it be an album, whether it be food, whether it be a film, a TV show, if we have time, a game, just anything. Let us know if we, and we'll just get round to them as and when. We've not got much on. Oh shit! Actually, I got recommended this. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
I'll listen to it whilst I'm driving. That sort of thing.
Yeah, we just need a little jingle for it now.
We do. So Drew, sponsor Drew. I don't know what we're paying him for. Where is he?
Yeah, I know. The jingle will end up being longer than the recommendation.
Knowing the Drew, yeah. Right, okay. For the first time in so many weeks, we actually have 35 minutes to talk about our main topic.
I can't believe it.
Because we normally end up either pushing it back to the next week's episode or we're rushing to get through it.
Yeah.
And I actually, weirdly enough, I spoke to one of my friends this week who said his worst thing in a podcast is when people rush themselves and say, we haven't really got time, come on, I'm conscious of time.
Yeah.
But actually, sometimes we've got to be a bit.
I think we're probably too far the other way, where we're just like, let's just keep talking.
Yeah, we do talk a lot of shit. And actually, when we do say conscious of time, it's basically just me saying, back on track, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, back on track, else you'll go off on else we would have eaten that whole Mars bar.
You would have loved it, though.
And we'd still be here now picking it out of our teeth.
Yeah. You would have had a great time.
Oh, God,
I'd have been sick.
Yes,
everywhere.
you would have. So before we get into the big one, pass us a beer, please, mate.
Sure. Anything in particular?
Anything, mate. We are supping. What's that? Hazy Jane.
We're supping
Jane Brewdog tonight, and actually shared on the page the other day that I received in the post a Brewdog Advent calendar.
I am very jealous.
Which is just incredibly nice, beautiful. Oh God, I'm so excited! One new beer every day.
Yeah,
back on Untapped, the
nice.
app, which is like Facebook for beer drinkers.
Yeah, I'm back on that as well because I had a couple of months where I wasn't really drinking, so got quite a few beers on it already.
We'll do a bit tonight.
Yeah, that'll be good. German pub will have plenty of new beers.
Exactly. So, the main part of this episode, we are going to be looking at Love, Death, and Robots. This is something. This was probably one of the first conversations you and me ever had, you know.
I think it might have been, yeah. I think it was we're just chatting TV at work, weren't we? And then I think I must have been watching it at the time. I think I recommended it to you.
I'd seen it.
Yeah.
You said, "Oh, did you see season 2 came out?" And
right. That was
shit.
It. Yeah.
Then you told me about a specific episode I won't mention because it's definitely going to be on our list.
Yeah.
And you was like, you need to go and rewatch this episode. And I did, and fuck me, just the love affair relit, and it's outstanding.
It is fantastic.
So
go on. No, you go.
All right. So for you guys that don't know what Love, Death and Robots is, Love, Death and Robots is a Netflix original which premiered back in March 2019. And there's 3 seasons, and they're all just series of short animated like episodes, films, whatever they would be. Every single one of them is a different animation style.
Yep.
And they hit practically every genre you can go.
Yeah.
Mainly sci-fi. There's a lot of horror, a lot of thriller. There's some mystery, lots of action.
Yep.
Comedy.
Yep.
And like I say, with the animation style, we're going from perfect, like Real Engine, bloody 3D, gorgeous. Is that really computer? Or is it human beings?
Yeah.
To anime, to claymation.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, when I talk about art, I'm a big art fan. I'm an art fan of that.
Yeah. It's art in motion, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like, I respect, even if I didn't like the episodes, I respect how they did it, what they did. And actually, the animation style in each episode becomes its own character.
Absolutely. I think that each animation style tells the story just as much as the actual narrative.
Definitely.
And I love it. And I suppose, is it an anthology series? Is that how you describe it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, so like every episode, it's its own unique story. They vary in length, don't they? From like 10 minutes up to, I think the longest one's 20 minutes or something.
So the shortest is, I did write this down, 6 minutes, and the longest is 21.
Yeah, there you go. So it's a proper mixed bag. And literally every episode, you have no idea what you're going to get. And I love that. Some of them I've not watched again because I was like, okay, it wasn't really my thing. Some of them I've not watched again because they just freaked me out. But then others I could watch on repeat just constantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go into, so we have got categories that we're going to talk about. Did the yogurt one make into any of your categories?
The yogurt one did not.
Okay, so for example, we will go through some amazing episodes. like one of the categories we're going to look at is the most thought provoking.
Yeah.
There's the most fucked up. There's so many thinkers in this. But then we have, is it called The Day the
day the yogurt took over.
over.
Yeah, I'll just double check the name of it because.
And it's a bit of a Wallace and Gromit type animation, like an Aardman animation style, that is basically just about a sentinel yogurt that takes over New Jersey or something like that.
Ohio.
And then when they realise that actually the sentinel yogurt it's basically just running the most perfect state, everything starts crashing around them. They take over America, then take over the world.
Yeah.
And then the yogurts fly off into space
and just leave because they know humanity will just, destroy itself.
Which is such a big theme throughout every episode.
It's very much like it's a lot of the episodes are a reflection on society, aren't they? And how society's failing. It's going to destroy the planet and destroying, the resources, and ultimately we're going to lead to our own demise, our own downfall.
Yeah.
And it's a sort of a running joke throughout a lot of episodes that like robots are going to be the only things that are left.
Which is this is where I kind of want to go into this, which is episode 1. Episode 1 again is very I don't really know how to describe the animation style, but it's just called 3 Robots.
3 Robots.
And it's 3 different robots of variation.
Yeah.
Just on holiday, looking around a war-torn Earth.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead. And they're just describing what happened, why the Earth destroyed, and it's just them taking the piss out of humanity.
Humans,
because we're all fucking idiots and we're destroying our own country, our own like planet.
Yeah.
Funny, great animation, real good comedy in there, and it's just a massive middle finger to the human race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is then followed up by one which we will talk about later called Beyond the Aquila Rift.
Yeah.
Which, if you've not watched it and you are going to watch it after this will set you up for what Love, Death and Robots is.
Yeah.
Because you go from this nice animated, very colourful, funny episode to this dark, disturbing. We are going to discuss this. It's definitely in my list. I'm assuming it's in yours. And that's what it's like. And then that would be followed by a claymation about zombies.
Yeah.
And then an anime about something else. It's just ridiculously good.
Yeah.
We say this every episode, how we struggle to do our top 5s. And it was probably the hardest one yet.
I think this is the hardest one. I think we both talked about how we created our list. Like we've got 6 categories, I think. And even up until this morning, I was still changing my list.
Yeah.
And I imagine even going through this conversation, like when we'll go back and forth, because I have no idea what you've picked and you don't know what I've picked, but I'm sure I could be persuaded based on some of the things you say. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I agree with you. I think that's the best in this category or vice versa. So this was really, really hard. And I think the hardest thing as well is there's so many episodes, 3 seasons. There's only about, on average 10 episodes is there a series?
So season 1's 18 episodes.
Oh, but really that many?
Yeah, season 2's 8, season 3's 9.
Yeah, okay. And I would happily be able to talk about all of them. If we had time, we could talk about every single episode.
Easily.
But that would be a very long episode, even by our standards. So,
yes, definitely.
We can't do that, unfortunately. So we've just picked 6 categories.
We have. So the categories that we're going to go for, we're not going to jump straight into them, but we are going to be looking at the best animation, which we will say now is very subjective. Because best animation, you would assume, would be what looks most lifelike.
Yeah, and I guess it's, like we said earlier, it's artwork. So how can you say one person's art style is better than another? Because you've said it before. You've got claymation in there. You've got like almost like your stop motion. Sometimes you've got your almost realistic CGI where it's probably real actors, in like a green screen, and there's such a variety. So it's almost impossible to say which is the best.
So we've gone for what in our head is the best animation.
Yeah,
what we prefer the most, what we like the most.
Yeah. Could almost say it's our favourite animation, really, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Then we went for most fucked up, because a lot of these are very fucked up, whether it be the story or gore.
Yeah, and I don't think we've alluded to that just how dark some of these episodes are. And I'm going to desperately try to avoid using the word brutal to describe every single episode. That's going to be my challenge. I'm not going to say brutal once.
You've already said it twice.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
From here on out.
It's going to get worse as well because I'm having beers, I have no idea.
So before we move on to the next one, then most fucked up. Ryan just said it's hard to describe how dark this is. The content rating on IMDb: sex and nudity, severe. You will see dong in practically every episode.
Yeah,
sex, tits, or dong in every episode. Violence and gore, severe. Profanity, severe. Frightening and intense, severe. And then alcohol, drugs, and smoking is moderate.
Yeah, so
it
it's
needs
definitely
more drugs and smoking.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
drinking.
just to crank it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Love, Death and Robots, lovely little animated series, not for the kids.
Not at all. I was actually watching it yesterday when my daughter was dropped off, and I was like, "Shit, turn off."
Yeah.
Because obviously they see animation, they're gonna be like, "Ooh, cartoon." No, darling, no, not for you.
And they're not all dark. There's some that are a bit more, like you said, a bit more comedy, a bit more family friendly. But even them, there's.
I mean, even Three
elements of
Robots,
it.
which I would say is probably the most family friendly,
the tamest, as should we say,
is all fuck this, fuck that, fuck the other.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
absolutely.
So then after most fucked up, we go to the most thought provoking. So the one for us, this was the one I struggled with. I've still got 2 down for it. I'm sorry.
Really?
2. I completely forgot. There's still 2 there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to have to make an on the moment decision on that one.
Yeah. And I suppose for me, that category meant the one that stuck with me the most.
Yes.
The one that I kept thinking about. The one that, it went beyond just that 15, 20 minutes that I watched it.
Yeah.
The one that hit home, I think.
Definitely. Then we went for which we would like to see a sequel for. So, for example, episode 1, 3 Robots, there is a sequel to that in season 3.
Yes.
I think that's the only one that there is a sequel for.
It is the only other one that's a sequel for.
So what we would like to see another 10 to 20 minute episode sequel to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then we went for which we would like to see a full length film on. Which one we would like to see 90 minutes to 2 hours of
90 minutes is your perfect film time.
You know it. of just more of the character building, more of the universe, and then ending it with our favourite episode.
Yes, again, which was near impossible to get for me.
it was so hard, wasn't it? It was so hard.
If you look at I'm not going to show you my notes because I don't want you to see what I've got, but there's so many scribblings.
So the scribblings all over this. Bearing in mind, I wrote this in a different notepad.
Oh, yeah.
And then transferred it to my nice notepad
copy.
When it was done. And then I still changed my mind.
Yeah.
I messaged Ryan last night and I said, I've had to put the book away.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking because I watched more episodes yesterday again. Just absolutely loving it. So just as a recommendation in itself, watch Love, Death and Robots.
Yeah,
we told one of our friends, Goss, today about it.
Yep.
We said this is what was doing on the episode. He actually messaged before I got here saying, I had a work from home day, so I've just watched season 1.
Yeah.
Loving it, which is fantastic.
Yeah. I suppose that's the ultimate thing with this. We are recommending Love, Death and Robots. We're going to talk about a few of the episodes today in a bit of detail, but go watch Love, Death and Robots because there's not that many people that I know that have seen it.
You know what? Me neither.
It's like I've got a few people like you, and I know like Andrew's watched it, and like Goss has watched it, and a few others, but like it's
dropping that pop shield again.
Keep knocking it off. It's not something that it's like mainstream, should I say?
Yeah.
It's not something that everyone's watched.
And this seems to be the new thing at the moment. So you're a fan of The Boys?
Yes, love The Boys.
Did you watch The Boys animated show?
No, I haven't.
Exactly the same premise in every one is a different art style.
Right, okay.
So
that's cool.
some's Dragon Ball Z anime, some's really, 3D graphics, real good. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so it's not like this where each one is completely different, and thought provoking. The anime episode is about a girl who takes V, has a shit, and her shit becomes a superhero. And she basically becomes this superhero that can control shit. Like that is one of the episodes. So
oh my god, I need to watch this.
so they're ridiculous, but it's in pure The Boys style.
Yeah.
There was also Invincible.
Oh, I
which
still
came
need to
out.
watch that. It's on my list.
So fucking good
Yeah.
and brutal.
Yeah, a few people have
Episode
said
by
that.
episode, it just gets more dark and gory and
Yeah.
in your face. And again, going at that superhero genre of let's stop pretending it's Disney. It's,
Yeah,
if there
yeah,
were superheroes, no.
Mm.
This is what it would be like. Which, let's be honest, The Boys have captured
Yeah.
perfectly. The Boys is a different thing. We'll get into that another time because
Yeah.
I adore The Boys.
Yeah, me too.
And actually, when we've been speaking in the past and doing top fives, I was asked why Homelander didn't make any of the lists, especially in episode 1. I thought, fuck, I didn't even think about Homelander.
I know.
But we have spoke about Billy Butcher. I think we spoke about him in the last
It's just
one,
Carl
didn't we?
Urban. I
Yeah,
love Carl Urban. Everything he's in.
He's so sexy.
He is so sexy.
Right. Should we get into these lists then?
Let's do it.
So, best animation. Give me yours, please, Ryan.
This is the one that I've changed the most. It's got the most scribblings out.
Interesting.
So generally, my favourite episodes tend to be the one where it's more not the completely realistic like CGI, you know, where it literally like you are questioning is that lifelike, is it not?
Yes.
You know, it's one of the episodes that I can't remember what it's called.
Is it the guy with
It's Michael B. Jordan.
the robot? He falls down, the robot goes after him.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, he's the part like the and it's literally just Michael B. Jordan. He's clearly filmed it, but he's done it with I don't know.
Is that animation?
That is animation,
Right, okay, because it doesn't look it at
It
all,
looks
does
real. It
Yeah.
looks real, but it's you know, they've obviously done it in like a green screen room. And he's probably I can't even think of what the word is. I've had the full suit on, all the dots over his face probably, and record it that way.
It's ridiculously good as well, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's insane. But my ones are the more ones where it is like insanely good animation, but it's more, I don't know how you describe it. It's not quite as realistic. It's a little bit more cartoony. So I'm thinking like Bad Traveling, you know, the one with the giant crab.
Yes.
Like Pop Squad, the one with the policeman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the secret war, I think it is, like the Russians.
Oh, the
fighting
Russian
thing.
one where they're
Yeah.
fighting the aliens, yeah.
So that sort of style, they tend to be one of my favourite episodes that I sort of gravitate towards. But in terms of my favourite animation, the one I've actually gone for is The Tall Grass.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, that is very Wes Anderson.
Okay, I don't know much about Wes Anderson.
So his animation style. So Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yes,
Things
yes,
like that. Weird. That's so weird. Yeah, watching that, I actually thought at the time, this is so Wes Anderson. So it's, which in itself is its own genre of animation.
It very much reminds me of Star Wars, The Clone Wars.
Yes.
Rebels, that sort of style, where it's almost like moving pictures. They look like artwork. Like everything's not. You can see like almost like the brush strokes on the characters.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
like they look. It's like a painting that's come to life. It's that sort of style. So the Tall Grass is an episode. The premise is it follows a man. He's on a train going through the middle of nowhere at night, and the train stops randomly. He goes outside for a smoke, and there's tall grass either side, and he can see some weird lights in the grass, and he's obviously drawn to them. And you know, the train conductor says, "You got time for a smoke? We just got to, you know, get the boiler back up working." And but you know, I'll shout you, don't wander off, basically. And obviously he's drawn to the lights, and then he's pulled away, and then, you know, it's about him trying to find his way back. So I quite like the story, but it's the artwork for me that really got it.
Yeah, and the artwork really takes off as well when he sees what the lights are.
Yes, absolutely. And it comes to life, and then suddenly, because it's all quite grainy, it's that sort of style, it's quite grainy. It's like, but the feel of it's quite steampunky as well. You know, obviously they're on a steam train. It's quite like, it's almost like Victorian-esque. This guy with his little spectacles on, you know, in his suit. And I love that because, like I said, it's like a painting that's come to life. And I love that style. But I've got a soft spot because I love Clone Wars. I love Rebels. Very much reminded me of that.
And that one nearly made it in my most thought-provoking, you know.
Really?
Solely because what I took from that episode was a very much... because every time I watch an episode, it's like, how are they telling humanity to go fuck themselves?
Yes.
So I see this as very much humans They don't. There's something pretty over there. They've been told, stay where you are because we will fucking leave you here to die. But they have to just. Well, no, the grass is greener over there.
Yeah.
I need to go over there.
Yeah.
They get over there. They realize how fucked up that side of stuff is, and they need to get back.
Yeah.
And they rely on the person who originally told them just stay where you are to pull them back.
Yeah.
And that's what I took from that episode. And I was like, that's cool. That is quite thought provoking.
Yeah, I didn't think about that actually. For me, it was more. I think I took from it, that like. Obviously the lights and stuff, they represent like people that have been lost or whatever, and it's almost about like there's all these lost souls out there and people aren't accounted for, and it's easy to get wander and never be found again. And it is a thought-provoking one.
That's why I like this. That's why I like this, because people take so much different shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm probably wrong, but fuck them.
Yeah, yes, absolutely the same. But these episodes, they aren't explained.
No, not at all.
A lot of them just end as well. They just cut. They just, it's like, oh, right, episode's done. And you never get a full resolution of what happens.
That's that. Off you go.
Yeah. And you just sort
Next
of like,
episode.
Oh, okay, right, next episode, yeah. So yeah, the tall grass, that I'm going to go for that one as my favourite. I had a couple of others in there. Good Hunting, which is more, that's the one where he's like the Chinese hunter, hunts that spirit. And then
I like that one,
it turns into quite, and then it goes from like almost like mystical China, and then goes like quite a steampunk world. And I just love like the different art style. How it goes from like, it's almost like you throw back to your old school cartoon-esque artwork. But some of like the steampunk stuff just looks amazing. It's very Blade Runner-esque. Quite like that one. And then it's what's the other one? We talked about it earlier.
Which one?
It's the one where the pilot, the astronaut.
Oh shit!
The very pulse of the machine. That's it. I just had to look at it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a real good one.
Yeah. So, I really like that artwork in that. Like the colors, it's just beautiful.
It's such a bright episode, isn't it? Everything's like yellow and orange, but they're supposed to be on. Well, it's a different planet, like a Mars type planet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
really, really nice colors in that.
But this was a tough one because, like we said before, how can you say what the best animation is when there's so many different styles and so many amazing ones?
Yeah.
So, like I said, this is the one I've changed several times. Really, I just love the tall grass, and I wanted to get that on my list somehow. So I've gone for that. What about you?
So for me, and this is one I think will be on your list later on down the line. For me, it was Beyond the Aquila Rift.
Right, yeah, obviously.
Again, kind of what you said. It's not that in your face Michael B. Jordan episode where is this real?
Yes.
Is it not?
Yeah.
You know it's animation.
Yeah.
But it's fucking incredible animation.
It is.
It's a sci-fi episode about a crew of pilots that basically go into a deep sleep like you do in any sci-fi film.
Yeah,
we need to go X amount of light years. We'll put ourselves in a thingy chamber and wake up when we're there. They wake up, they're thousands of light years past where they should be, but they've been rescued by a space station, basically, who is the captain's ex-lover.
Yeah.
They sort of have a conversation. They have to put the other two pilots back to sleep because they're having a bit of a confusion about what's going on.
Yeah.
So put them back to sleep. We'll just chill. This is your first entrance to seeing a bit of dong and a bit of sexy time in animation style.
Very realistic
session.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just gets worse.
It does. Which is a bit weird, I find, when it's animation.
Yeah, it is a bit. But they go at it, bless them.
Do.
They have a good time.
They really go at it.
He has a fag. I'll tell you who he looks like. He looks like Michael from GTA 5.
Yeah.
He proper looks like him.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
And it's just such a great episode. And I will not tell you the twist at the end as much as I want to.
I know.
Because it's what makes this, to me, the best animation. How they go from this beautiful spaceship, this nice universal backdrop to what it becomes. It's episode 2 gets it watched. Beyond the Aquila Rift. Storyline is outstanding. At that point is where I went best animation.
Yeah.
Because just everything about that makes you think, when you watch animation, if you are genuinely thinking, I do not want to be there, that is the scariest place on earth to be in that setting right there. I think you've done a good job of the animation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that did that for me.
Yeah, it's insane. And it, like you said, it changes on like you know, in the blink of an eye, it literally transitions from into total opposite things. And you can't say spoilers, but
No.
because the spoiler and the storyline in this one is incredible as well. But this is the one where you think, okay, right, we're on. This show's different.
Yeah. Now, this one, for me, this was making the list. The hardest part for me was because this could go in every single category.
I agree.
Every single category.
Entirely.
The only one, in fact, no, I wouldn't put it in full length or sequel.
Yeah.
Because actually, I think it's 19 or 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
That is the perfect amount of time to tell the story.
Yeah, it's perfect. And the twist, it's not a massive build up to the twist. If it was in like a full length film, you'd lose it. And I don't think it, like you said, it quite work for a sequel because it's all about the reveal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The Beyond the Aquila Rift could have been in any other of the categories.
Yeah.
And
that was the one that you told me to go back and watch. And at the time, I didn't really know any of the names. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll go find it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where our friendship blossomed. Because
Yeah.
I messaged you that I added you on Facebook and messaged you like, fuck, yes, this episode. I didn't know which one you meant. Fuck, dude, yes.
Yeah. And it's made one of my. It's on my list
Cool,
for
I knew it
different
would be,
categories,
yeah.
but because like you just said, it could have been in any of them.
Yeah.
It is an incredible episode.
And again, it's the reason we're friends. So
yeah, it is. So we've got
to-
a lot to owe
We
to
do.
Beyond the Aquila Rift.
So let's move on then to the most fucked up, bro.
Again, this one was difficult because there's so much gore.
It's so fucked up.
There's so much, like you said, there's a lot of sex, there's violence, there's like scares, there's so much intensity throughout that this was really hard. But the one I've gone for is Jabaro.
It's made my list.
Yeah, I thought it would. So
I don't know why you find it so fucked. I was so shocked when you told me.
Absolutely freaks me the hell out.
What is it that freaks you out about it?
Hate it. I love it. It's fantastic. It's incredible.
So
it's one of the best episodes.
explain the premise, and we'll talk about why.
So
you
the
find it
premise
fucked up.
is, it's like some like conquistador knights.
That's a word I've never heard before.
Right. So Spanish.
Knight in shining armor.
Some Spanish knights in armor, in the Amazon. No, Aztecs or like the Aztec jungle.
Yeah.
And they are just traveling through the forest, and there's basically this woman who's like a siren, and she has this call, and she pulls all the knights to her, and then basically starts to kill them all in horrific ways. And because
she doesn't kill them, does she? They start killing each other.
they kill each other.
She dances and screams. They all start dancing, but slicing each other's necks as they
slicing
go.
each other up, and then they start drowning because she's like dancing on the river, and they start drowning. Their armor pulls them down, and basically she kills this entire company apart from one man because he's deaf and he can't hear her siren pull her.
Such a good premise, man. Such a good premise.
So then the story kicks off. Then it's about those two, and again, it's not an overly long episode, but for me, it's the animation that makes it fucked up because there's these. It almost looks realistic, but then it's the camera angles are very jerky. It moves. They, when they're dancing and they're being pulled, they're moving in like these horrific ways. They're like bending and contorting, and like the screams she makes. It just freaks me out. Everything about it. There's extreme close-ups where you're right in the character's face.
All the eyes are bloodshot.
And the eyes are bloodshot and like bulging, like, out of their sockets. There's so many shots in that are just awful. And the scream, the colours are so saturated as well in it. It's just it's an attack on all the senses, basically.
It really is, isn't
That's
it?
why it's fucked up, because it hurts my brain.
Even to the point where she realizes she can't kill him, so she tries to seduce him like physically.
Yeah.
And she's kissing him, but her mouth is made of like gold sequins.
Yeah.
So it's ripping his lips
like
to
ripping
pieces.
his lips to
like you
pieces.
can taste the iron in his blood when they're doing that.
It's just. I nearly said it.
Oh!
I stopped myself.
Yes, boy.
It is horrendous. Where's that thesaurus?
Claire, we need you.
It's just awful. Like I said, I think it's its intensity that I think is what makes it so fucked up. Not necessarily the story, because it's a classic ancient story, and it's siren like pulling men to their doom because those damn men, they only want one thing.
The little buggers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They just
bloody
want
are.
to touch some titties.
Exactly. But yeah, it's the animation. It could have gone into best animation for me as well, this one, because like I said, it's the animation that drives the story in a lot of ways. But
Yeah.
the other one I wrote down similarly was The Witness, which very similar
Very
animation style.
similar-
I think
similar.
it is actually made by the same people. The Witness is in season 1, Jabaro season 3. But yeah, just awful. I think it's your favourite episode would be my guess.
Oh, we'll get there, mate. We'll get there. We'll get there.
But yeah, it fucked up. It is.
It's not brutal. It's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I say it? Or did I
You
avoid
didn't.
it?
I think we're safe.
Yeah,
If
okay.
anyone hears him say it, please get in contact with us, because I think we should do a thing where if he says brutal, you have to buy me a beer. Of
What,
my
the listeners?
No. You,
Me.
you have to buy me a beer of
Okay.
my choosing.
All right. Deal.
Yeah?
Deal.
Deal. Okay, so
say likewise if you say 100%.
I nearly said it. All right.
Go on,
yeah,
you go.
we can do that. Right. Most fucked up for me is one that I don't think you'll see come in. I went for All Through the House.
The Christmas one.
The Christmas one. Very stop motiony type episode about two kids that try to stay up to see Santa.
yeah.
They wake up to the jingles, the bells. This is one of the shortest episodes. I think it's 7 minutes long.
Very short.
Bearing
Yeah.
in mind, 3 minutes of that is the beginning and the trailers. The fucking thing is at the end. So All Through the House is about these kids. They wake up, it's Christmas Eve, they hear Santa, so they go downstairs. They're hiding behind, oh, let's have a look at Santa. Then this big tentacle comes out, grabs the milk, glug, glug, glug.
Mm-hmm.
The monster that they invented for Santa Claus and how that monster produces presents,
Yeah.
it made me think about it in bed.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
night when I was trying to sleep, I thought about that and how it was disturbing.
Yeah. It is disturbing.
It's very disturbing. And you know what? That would never have made my list.
Mm.
And it was yesterday when it was on, I was like, oh, and it made me shudder a little bit. Like,
Really?
oh God, that's gross. And the
Yeah.
animation isn't the best. Like I say, it's that stop motion, again, maybe quite Wes Anderson-y. But it's just grim and slimy. And he's got
Yeah,
these two
yeah.
hands that come out of his mouth. And
Yeah.
it's got links to like alien xenomorph in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And it just made me feel so uncomfortable that I thought about it in bed. And then I was
Right.
like, that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very short episode, very
It
in
is,
your
yeah.
face, bish, bash, bosh, there it is. And yeah, there's not really much more to say. Again, you need to witness this monster to see what I'm talking about.
Fair. Yeah. It's not one that makes my list, but I get why that is.
You see what I mean?
And I think any of the episodes, because quite a lot of the episodes do involve kids as well, and like it's a show that's not afraid to go there and
Oh,
like
it's
will
not.
fuck kids up as well. Then no one is off limits in
Nope.
this show.
Nope.
So yeah, interesting choice actually.
So let's go for the most thought-provoking for you.
Okay. This was an easy one. We've already talked about it. So this is for me Beyond the Aquila Rift. That is the one. Like you said, it was episode 1, 2, or 3. I think it was one of the early ones, season 1, and that just sets up what Love, Death and Robots is. The twist at the end, I did not see come in, and even now, that's the one that I still think about.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's the one that as soon as we mentioned Love, Death and Robots, I said to you, a year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, and been like, oh, dude, do you remember this episode? Like, you've got to rewatch this episode because it just sticks with you.
Yeah.
There's not a lot I can say about it without giving it away, which
No.
I'm not going to do.
No, that's fine, yeah.
And we have spoke about it already,
Yeah.
but yeah, Beyond the Aquila Rift, one of the best episodes of the entire show for me, definitely up there. Yeah, very thought-provoking, stuck with me, still think about it now. And yeah, could have arguably been the most fucked up as well
Yeah.
for the twist.
Yeah.
I don't want to big
definitely.
up the twist so then everyone will be like, oh, it's not as exciting, but
But it's not fucked up in the aspect of you see a crazy, weird, like a disgusting monster in the aspect of what I just spoke about.
yeah.
There are things in there, but you don't look at it and be like, oh my God, that's terrifying. But just the premise of
Yes.
what is going on
Yeah.
and the realization
Yeah.
is what makes it.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm not going to say
Amazing.
any more, to be honest. Most thought-provoking beyond the Quilla Rift.
So the most thought-provoking for me, I've still not come up with the answer.
Really?
So the two I've got is Pop Squad and the Drowned Giant. I'm going to go with Pop Squad.
Okay.
The reason I'm going to go with Pop Squad is I have a child, so anything to do with kids, it makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
This is very thought-provoking in the aspect of... So the storyline of this is humanity can take a drug and live forever.
Mm-hmm.
But to do that, and that's what the rich people can go and do,
Yep.
you can't have kids.
Yep.
So the Pop Squad go around, they investigate people called breeders that are having kids, and they put bullets in fucking babies' heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not kidding you. Watching this episode, I genuinely shed a tear. And
Yeah.
I've seen this episode 100 times.
Yeah.
And I shed a tear watching it again yesterday.
Yeah.
It is so thought-provoking, again, because it doesn't play that massively on class system of the rich can do this, but
Yeah.
it's the poorer having the children.
Yeah.
But that's again what I love about these bloody episodes is you pick up on shit like that of the
Yeah.
class system and why they're having to go and live in these shitty little suburbs out the way because they want to have children. And
Yeah.
again, there isn't no major spoiler in it. There's a little one at the end, but I don't want to go into it too much. It's just such a thought-provoking thing that actually I would have liked to seen a full-length film, and that was originally my full-length film.
Yeah. I get that.
Just a quick one about the Drowned Giant. Because
Drowned Giant, talk about it. Go for it.
I cannot not mention this. It had to go in there somewhere. The Drowned Giant is literally one day a giant, a human being that looks exactly like a human being that is 50 foot tall, washes up on the beach.
in like Cornwall or somewhere.
Yeah,
I think it is. It's definitely like an English town.
Yeah, people go down there bit by bit. Everyone's interested. It's all over the news.
He's a dead giant, isn't he? Did you say that?
It's a dead. Sorry, yeah, he's a dead giant. So we don't. No
He's
one
literally
knows
just
what's
washed
happening.
up on shore. Yeah.
And basically, the whole thing is narrated by some bloke.
Yeah.
Who's looking around, but it's all just a narration in his head. And day by day, people start humanity again. This
Yeah.
is why it's thought provoking.
Yeah.
Humanity again. People start graffitiing it. People start removing the giant's fingers so they can keep part of it.
Yeah.
And day by day, people give less of like this is a giant. The proof of a 50-foot
Yeah.
fucking man is right there.
Yeah.
And after a month, people are graffitiing it and stealing
Yeah,
fingers.
it starts off as like a tourist attraction, doesn't it? Everyone's a little bit scared of it to start with. Then
Yeah.
it becomes a tourist attraction, people climbing on it, and then by the end of it, people are bored of it, so we'll graffiti it, we'll do whatever.
Within a
we'll,
year-
like, piss on it or whatever.
Within a year, it's literally just slime and bones.
And it's just
and,
rotting
and
away.
people have forgot about it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that is so thought provoking to me. Of actually, that is such. That's such a piece on humanity. Of something goes on that we are all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. That
Thanks.
we are obsessed with something for 2 minutes.
Oh yeah,
and then it goes away.
I'm terrible for that.
And it literally could be something so important to your life that.
You become desensitized to things, though. I think that's the thing. Like you become desensitized to it, and then you become bored of it, and that's a worrying thing for anything.
That's
for
why you
anyone.
become complacent, and that's why it's very thought provoking.
Yeah, and I get that.
cheated there by having two, but
No,
I'm going to say
I'm glad
Pop
you
Squad.
talked about that because I really enjoyed that episode as well. It's one of the
It's
slow
so
ones.
good.
There's no action in it. It's not like a big fighting one or anything
It's
like
just
that.
a big monologue.
It's just a big monologue of one guy, just his daily accounts. So it's like a diary, isn't it? Like of him following the giant like rotting away.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
literally,
Like
that's
literally, like just washing up
A
on shore
rotting
and then
flesh.
just watching him decay slowly.
Because originally this was in my best animation.
Yeah, and I get that. The animation is incredible. It looks so realistic. Like the details of the giant. Like it's just a naked giant, isn't he? Just this big naked man.
But it looks brilliant. Like everything looks perfectly realistic until you see the faces and then you can see its animation.
Mm-hmm.
But everything down to the pigmentation, the moles on his skin.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah. The level of detail is incredible.
It's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
So another brilliant recommendation there. So what would you like to see a 10 to 20 minute sequel for, Ryan?
I have two that are interchangeable for this
Interesting.
because originally I think we sort of lumped this into one category, didn't we? We sort of said a sequel, a full length one, that sort of thing. And then we thought, no, we'll separate it. But the one I've gone for, what I would like to see a sequel of is The Secret War.
Okay.
So the Secret War one, I think we mentioned it earlier. It's set during World War II, and it follows a squad of Russian soldiers in the woods somewhere in Russia, Serbia, Siberia, I don't know, wherever, the middle of nowhere, and they come across this village that's been abandoned, and they're basically tracking these horrific monsters, these like, I don't know, these weird creatures, and then they're tracking them down to their lair to try and destroy the lair, and then, you know, they get into some incredible fights. And I love it. It's one of the more heavy action episodes.
Oh, there's a lot of action, and you're really invested in the characters as well.
Yeah, it's cool. Like these hardy Russian soldiers, you know, in like the winter, like these hardy men, just battling the elements alone is horrific, rather than, you know, fighting all these monsters. And it's gritty, it's dark. There's quite a lot of gore. But it's heroic as well. It's like these, it's like last stand. You know, we will fight these monsters, and we won't. You know, we'll die.
We will die for our country.
Die for the, you know, for Mother Russia type thing. And it just reminds me of Horde mode. That's basically what it is. Like,
yes,
like you've got endless waves of incoming monsters, and you're gonna die, but you've got to hold out for as long as you can. And I think there's like 5 or 6 of them at the end in the big final battle. And all I could think of when I watched it again recently, because this is the episode I probably watched the most, but when I thought of it recently, I just thought, it's me and the boys. On Gears 3. This could be like the intro to like Gears, onto Gears Horde mode, and then we all go into it and start fighting, start taking over one of these people. So I absolutely love this. One of my favourite episodes. And I would love to just see more. Like I said, I'd either like to see this as a full-length film, because you could get more battles. You could have a bigger cast, a bigger squad. Sorry, you know, that slowly get whittled down. But I'd be happy with like a sequel. Another squad goes in to investigate what's gone on, and then just more of the same. Really, I really loved it. So yeah, that's a cool one.
I love it. So for a sequel for me, my friend, I went with The Witness.
Really?
And I'll tell you for why. It does such a good job of explaining its whole story, beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Now, this episode is about a girl who witnesses a murder.
Yep.
In it's like in Tokyo or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like something like that.
She witnesses a murder over the road in an adjacent apartment. He starts chasing her down.
Yeah.
And this is a very sexualized episode.
I was literally about to say that. He literally took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. So there's a lot of her running around naked because she's like catching her clothes. And then she ends up in this, she's running to work where she's a stripper in this really weird bondage thing. So there's a lot of that going on. And it's basically the whole episode is the chase.
Yeah, she's been chased by the killer.
Again, a really good twist at the end.
Yeah,
that I love. That has been done 1,000 times before.
It has, yeah.
As we mentioned earlier with the Jabaro episode and the animation style, it goes from this outstanding 3D animation to old school kapow, pop, bang type Batman sort of.
It reminds me of Into the Spider-Verse.
Very much so.
You know, where it's an amalgamation of different animation styles, and it's very loud. There's lots of colours. There's lots going on in that episode.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the reason I would like to see a sequel for this, the storyline is perfect.
Yep.
But this is the first one that I watched and immediately thought of something bigger.
Okay.
Immediately, as soon as I finished.
Tell me more.
That is, without giving away the ending, the storyline that you go, okay, that is one killer versus one witness.
Yep.
That can expand.
Yes. Yeah.
To more people, to more of a universe, and I never want it to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
But you can do it without explaining what the fuck's going on, but by expanding the maybe amount of people that are witnesses or killers. Immediately, I started thinking in my head, how could we expand this? What else could we have?
Yeah, interesting.
So as soon as we said about doing a sequel for them, this was straight on paper.
Right, okay.
Because it made me think immediately, like, oh, God, this would be really cool. In like, for example, you know, like John Wick.
Yeah.
By the fucking third one, everyone's an assassin. I don't want it that big, but I would like to see something like that where it's just more to it. It's not just one dude against a couple of one big bad guy. Like then it seems like there's more to it. Oh, this is more interesting. Then it just gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought we could do with this, and I think you could end up with a whole universe of people chasing people, a whole world of people chasing people, and what the fuck's going on. And I want it to be so confusing.
Yeah,
When
it
you're
is
watching
confusing.
Yeah, I want you to have to watch it 2-3 times because, like, you know, all right, Tenet. Remember when Tenet come out?
I've still not seen it.
And it was one of the biggest films of the year, and everyone went, "Oh no, you'll love it when you've watched it the third time." It's 2.5 fucking hours long. I've watched it once. Give me what I want in the first fucking watch. You can get away with this because it's only 15 minutes long.
Yeah, true.
You can watch it 3 times over the space of 3 weeks, and you're not even made an hour.
Yeah.
Get fucked, Tenet.
Fuck you, Tenet. Fuck you, Christopher Nolan. Make less confusing films, you jerk.
You dickhead. Dickhead of the week. Last week was Jamie Oliver.
We love you really, Christopher Nolan. Please come on our podcast.
Yeah, no, we do love you. You've done some good stuff, just not that. So yeah, for me, I did put a little caveat in here about 3 Robots, but we mentioned it, how it was the only one with a sequel.
Yes.
Cool. So second to last one, which would you like to see a full length film of?
So full length one, I have gone for Pop Squad.
Yes, baby.
Have you gone for that as well?
No, I haven't. No, that was my most thought-provoking. I haven't done 2 in 1.
Oh, I've got, okay.
I've not got multiples.
Yeah. So Pop Squad, as you said, it's like, you know, you've talked about it already. It's like a dystopian future. Society, you've found a drug, and you can live forever. You know, so most of the characters you interact with, you see, are like over 200 years old. But, you know, society, I'm assuming, can't take any more people, so can't have kids. And then Pop Squad, it follows one detective and his partner a little bit, you know, going around killing kids. And it gave me very Blade Runner-esque vibes. And literally, even the car, his flying police car, is
very much so.
Almost a direct rip-off of Deckard's car in Blade Runner. And I just love the style. It's like got like a noir feel. Like even his look, you know, his long black trench coat with like this Trilby hat on and his pistol. It's got that cool dark feel. He's always smoking. The smoking in these episodes as well, it makes smoking look cool as fuck.
Fucking doesn't it?
All these characters that smoke, it just looks cool. And yeah, just like you said, like the interaction with the kids, I think it lends itself to a full film.
Yeah,
you could have so much more. You could extend what happens. You could have more interactions, more incidents, you know, it could give a little bit more backstory. There's so much you could do with that. And that's what I love, that, you know, I think it's a 15, 20 minute one, maybe 18 minutes, I think it is. And they do so much with that, but they've created a universe and a world that we've only got a little snapshot of, and I want to see more. So
this storyline similarly has been done with Children of Men.
Yeah.
But the difference is that that's pregnant women, isn't it?
Difference is Children of Men is that they can't have kids.
Yeah, but they try kill the one that can, don't they?
No, they try and capture her because she's the only one that's had kids. Humanity can't have kids anymore, humanity are going to die out.
Yeah.
So they need someone that can have a kid. Yeah.
So actually, it's not similar. It's the
opposite. It's the total opposite. Yeah,
of course. So yeah, the difference with this is old Earth, what it would have been 200 years ago, all the skyscrapers is all down, dirty, mossed over.
Yeah.
And there's this new beautiful Cloud City-esque like world where people live now that's absolutely beautiful. And I think that would look great. You're right. Yes, I want to see a full length video of this. That had to go somewhere. Pop Squad is it's not my favourite episode in this, but it's one of my favourite episodes.
Yeah.
It's the one that I remember when we watched season 3 together.
Yeah.
I said to you, was it season 3 or 2? 2.
2 it might have been.
And I said, dude, Pop Squad. And you was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I have this big thing. I can't watch shit about kids since having a kid. I mean, it's always been bad, but since having a kid, it makes me feel sick when I see stuff like that now.
And because the kids in it as well, they're so cute.
And
they're
adorable
so cute with their big eyes, and they have no idea, and they don't know what's coming. And well, it's heartbreaking. And it's not a gory one, actually. This is not one. It's gory, and that's what's great. That episode is totally story driven.
Yeah, and they do this really good scene in it. It's such a throwaway scene that they could have so many of them in the film of he sits down with this breeder
Yeah.
whose child is there,
Yeah.
offers her a cigarette, and then goes, "Oh shit, no, sorry,
Oh, you
it's
can't.
not good for the kid."
Yeah.
Who he's there to kill.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I love things like that. That's
Yeah,
such
yeah, yeah.
a throwaway comment scene
Yeah.
that in a film you could have so many of them little I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah.
That sticks with me more than a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
twist at the end half the time. That I'm like, fuck, loads of like little bits like that would be so interesting to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
It's just, can you get away with a film about shooting kids in the face?
Yeah. I mean,
Yes, you can.
I think you can. You don't have to see
yeah.
it. You don't have to see
No,
it. It doesn't
you
have to
don't
be. It
in
doesn't
this.
have to be gory for the sake of it, but it's the story behind
Hmm.
it. And that one definitely. It's not a silly one. It's not like When the Yogurt Took Over or Night of the Living Mini Dead or whatever. These silly little ones. This is a story that's clearly based on an actual short story.
Yeah.
I think it lend itself well. No, I think similar to like the Blade Runner-esque world, I think it would work
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like you say, it is a clear rip-off of Blade Runner in that.
in so many ways.
in that visual,
so many
yeah.
ways, yeah, definitely. Go on, then, what about you?
Okay, cool. For me, I've got Sonny's Edge.
Nice, yes.
So Sonny's Edge is about Robot Wars, the TV show where they used to battle robots. But they sit down, they put these things on their temples,
Yep.
and they can move these fucking weird ass creature monsters.
They're like monsters, aren't they? Like living monsters.
A bit like oh god, what's the film with Charlie Hunnam? Big robots fight
Pacific
monsters.
Rim.
Very Pacific Rim-esque.
Yes.
And they fight each other, and it's like an underground betting system. The storyline, it's a 20-minute episode. The storyline is fantastic.
Yep.
The reason this girl, she's really disfigured, scars all over her face.
Yeah.
They go a little bit into her backstory, why she is how she is. There's a villain who is vile. He has a really good character arc in 20 minutes.
Yeah, they all do.
You're
Yeah,
very invested in the monster
massively.
and the monsters that come in, the fighting. There is that much thrown into a 20-minute episode that works.
Yes.
It's not oversaturated with information and characters. It works so well that you could expand that so
Easily,
much with
easily.
more of the fighting, more of her backstory.
Yeah.
Why this villain is such a bastard. Because
Yeah.
we have he's a bastard. We have a storyline for him, but we don't know why he's such a prick.
Yep,
There's so much behind that we need to see.
absolutely.
And it ends perfectly. I'd have the same ending.
yeah,
The ending
yeah,
is brilliant.
yeah.
I'd end it at that. But yeah, give us more of the backstory.
I totally agree. More of the fighting as well, because we only
A
see
lot more of
one
the
sort of
fighting.
like of the arena battles.
Yes.
But you could turn it into a tournament.
Yeah.
It could be a tournament system, and these monsters progress through to a final. And it's episode 1, Sonny's Edge. It's the very first episode
Of season.
of it all. That's like that's
Is
the
it?
first episode that I watched. I know sometimes Netflix puts them in random
I was going
orders.
to say, on mine, it's 3 robots.
Yeah, I'm just looking on IMDb.
Shit. Right.
On
Okay,
my
it's not on mine.
On my Netflix, Sonny's Edge is the first ever episode. It's the first
Right.
one I ever watched.
Okay, so maybe it will be for you guys. It's definitely not for me, but it shows that on
On
IMDb,
IMDb,
as well.
it does, and it shows it on my Netflix. I think some just mix them up, either that one or 3 robots. But Sonny's Edge is incredible. And again, it sets the tone. But yeah, I totally agree. I think it would make a fantastic full length. It doesn't actually make any of my lists, but it has been crossed out several times. So it's there or thereabouts. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic episode.
And yeah, it's just one that there's not many that you'd want to see a full film of.
Yeah.
There just isn't, because they do such, and even the ones we're saying do such a good job in the small time frame they have.
Yeah.
There's a handful that would work.
Yes.
The rest of them, there's some that would work but don't do it.
Yeah.
This just cries out for more.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
So, the finale, my darling.
After all that,
After all that, in an hour and 20 minutes,
is that what we're up to?
we're at an hour and 20 minutes. It's been nice having a few beers doing this as well.
Yeah,
I'm
it
loving
has, yeah.
What is your favourite episode of Love, Death, and Motherfucking Robots?
Oh, it's so difficult. I've scribbled out so many. But the one I've gone for, based on rewatching it yesterday, that's what put it back to the top of the list. I've already said it. You've already said it. I've gone for Pop Squad.
You've gone for Pop Squad.
I absolutely love it. I love everything about it.
I am about that. I'm okay with that.
It's dark, it's noir, it's thriller, it's that dystopian future. Like, I love all the subtleties. You know, you've said quite a lot of them. Like, I just love his facial features. Has this cold-blooded killer of a detective slowly starts to regain some of his lost humanity. He's been alive 220 years or something, and he starts to get something that he's lost. And I kind of think what I like about this is a lot of the episodes, it's about how humanity is failing, and it's terrible, and we're going to destroy ourselves. And this is already well in the thick of it. And this one, I find, whilst it is horrific, I find it quite hopeful that even when humanity have got to that state, and the worst of them, the cold-blooded killer who shoots kids in the face, can regain that and be like, I don't think this is right.
Yeah,
I think it's quite a hopeful episode.
That's really not. I like that. That's such a nice representation of it.
Yeah.
Have you noticed as well? This goes down to the animation style of it, of how deep and dark his bags get under his eyes as he starts regaining this like humanity.
Yeah, and
everyone looks so fresh and beautiful from this drug they've taken and this life they're going to live without illness and death. And he looks fucked.
Yeah,
man.
He's got sweat. His complexion's quite sweaty. It's like he's affected. His mental health is just deteriorating rapidly as the episode goes on.
Yeah,
and the way they've done that throughout the animation is incredible. The story's incredible. I love everything about it. I want it to be a full length film. I'd love not necessarily a sequel. A sequel would be cool, but full length. I want more of it.
I'm going to shake your hand after this because I'm really glad that you did.
Yeah,
because that to me is the one that sticks with me forever. And it could have gone in practically all of my
same.
of these. Unfortunately, the most fucked up. You're shooting kids. The animation style is ridiculously good. Want to see a sequel? I want to see a full length. It's thought provoking as shit, and
absolutely.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
that's
could have gone everywhere. That's why it's my favorite, because it could have. It'd have been a bit of a boring conversation if I just put Pop Squad for every category.
I mean, everyone would know everything about Pop Squad at that point. So for me, mentioned before, I'm sure you can guess what it is because I speak about it all the time. What is it, Ryan?
It's Jabaro, isn't
Jabaro.
It? Oh, no, I hate it. But I love it. It's fantastic. But it's awful.
I love Jabaro. I love the art style. I mean, The Witness is up there with one of my favourites as well. Because I love that art style. I love that Into the Spider-Verse-esque. And the thing about Into the Spider-Verse is it works quite well because it's bright New York City, nice bing bang bong. This is a weird, like, Aztecian trail, but because the siren and her gold and the flash of red of a lipstick and all this shit, they make them colours work so beautifully.
They do.
The story is insane. Like you said, when she's ripping the people into the water with her, the eyes are bulging, the shots are right in the face, to the point where the siren has got the fucking horses going. And it's the horses that's dragging a load of them down. The dancing, the movement, everything about it is so choreographed and beautiful. They're killing each other, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's fucked up, but it's beautiful.
I get it.
It's just so good. And I love the storyline of him. This isn't a big spoiler, so I'm going to say it. So he's obviously deaf. He can't hear any of this. I love the beginning where he has to be told, tap, tap, tap. We're going this way now.
Yeah.
Very nice. You hear everything through that wishy-washy sound of because he's deaf. Then he wakes up after this experience with the fucking siren. He's fucked her up. He stole all her shit off her. Like, no, you've killed my squad. I'm stealing all the gold off your body, which is practically her skin.
Yeah.
He wakes up. He's got his fucking hearing back.
Yeah.
He cannot cope. He's never had hearing before. You don't know that, but you can just tell with how he reacts. He's going crazy. He's trying to stab birds because they're making noises. Leaves him open to this siren's call. Oh my God, I've literally got goosebumps talking about it.
It is an incredible episode. And I totally agree with everything you're saying. Like, and it could have been top of all of my list, like best animation, most fucked up, most thought provoking. It's one of them. Again, it sticks with me, and it sticks with me because it
The
is
bad
so
stuff.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Because it is haunting. It's just this horrific piece of animation. It's incredible. It's so well done. So yeah, I can understand why you've got it as number one. It's not mine because I hate it.
You're
Because
terrified of it.
It freaks me out, man. Honestly, but that's a testament to how good it is.
Yeah, when I mentioned it to you and you said, I am genuinely scared of that episode, it
Yeah.
took me back a bit. I went, really?
Yeah.
And you was like, leave it for the episode. We'll talk about this in the
Yeah,
episode. So I think you knew then it was going to be my
Yeah,
favourite.
yeah.
So I was quite interested to hear why. And I get it because it is fucked up.
It's just intense.
everything about it.
Everything about it is so intense. It's uncomfortable. It's an
Yes.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
15, 20 minute watch.
Yeah.
But watch it. Definitely experience it.
So that, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, everybody on earth, is Love, Death and Robots. We cannot express enough how much we want you to watch Love, Death and Robots.
Yeah.
You will, if you're not into it in 3 episodes, don't watch it. If you are, you will smash through it
Yeah.
in a couple of days.
Yeah. And what's great about it is even like from our conversations, everyone can take something from it. Everyone's going to have their own favorites. There are so many episodes we have not even mentioned once
I
tonight. So
know.
many incredible episodes. So
That's why it was so hard.
yeah, this is just, a brief look into it.
Which is weird because we've been speaking about it for nearly an hour.
Yeah.
And it is the briefest look into it.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you've enjoyed what you've heard, then you're going to love the show. There's so much to it. So go give it a watch. 3 seasons. Season 3 came out earlier this year, which we were sad about when we saw because it was open for more.
Yeah. Hopefully more next year. Early next year.
I think we're going to see
fingers crossed.
many, many more seasons of this because as long as they have ideas, they'll put them on paper.
Yeah.
Some, there's a few not so great ones. There's none that I hate.
No.
If I'm honest with you, there's some that I'm not bothered about, but there's none that I dislike.
Yeah, and I think what's great about it as well, I was looking into it a little bit, obviously in the preparation for this, is that each episode is done by like a different studio from around the world.
Yeah.
So, some are made in America, some are made in Britain, some are made in like Poland, some are made in literally like Germany, Spain. It literally gives a chance for all these different artists from around the world, all these different story writers to just give it like a little 20 minute, here you go. Here's what we made for this show. And I love that as well.
Yeah.
It's a proper collaborative show.
Have you ever heard of ABCs of Death?
I haven't.
We're going to talk about that after this. We'll do that because that's very similar in what there is.
Okay.
So that was Love, Death and Robots. That was episode 6. As mentioned earlier, please share with your friends. Please get in touch with us. Please give us your recommendations.
Yep.
Please, if you want to hear, we've now got top 5. We've got 60-second recommendations. If you'd like to see another little bit on the show that you've got some ideas for, give them to us. We want to build. We want to share. We are fucking loving doing this.
Yeah, it's good
we
fun.
get so excited about doing it. We get to spend time with each other, which is nice. Now we
Yeah,
don't work together.
Absolutely.
And we get to discuss. And actually, I hear more from people now than I ever have done since doing this, and it's just so nice and so lovely from you, of you all to be doing this.
Yeah.
So thank you. Just carry on sharing, carry on liking, carry on talking. Thank you for the sponsor, Drew Flanagan Music, as always. Thank you
Yes.
for the Mars Raspberry Smash, Jess.
Yep.
We love you all very much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks very much, everyone.
Peace.